Blair, what's going on?
Not much. I'm just working on my first inside NASA assignment.
Oh, the NASA 101.
Yeah, in fact, I'm beta testing the geocaching activity.
Geocaching?
Yeah, geocaching. I thought you knew what that was. It's pretty simple. It's basically a high-tech scavenger hunt.
Well, I know what geocaching is, but why are they letting you do it? It can be pretty challenging.
Oh no, it's simple. I found several geocaches on the internet within a 3-mile radius, and I'm setting out to find them now.
Well, it says right here that the 5 caches are within a 12-mile radius.
Oh, you're probably making the classic mile-kilometer error.
Hold on. No, in fact, it's actually a 28-mile radius, smack dab in the middle of the dismal swamp.
Here, let me see that. You know, Chris, you disappoint me. You feel threatened by my soon-to-be heralded insider status. I'm going to knock these caches out before you finish your run.
Whatever. Well, happy trails. Don't forget we're shooting Friday.
Of course.
Hey, have fun.
See you on the other side. The battery's fine. I played Pac-Man for 2 hours, and it's still working just fine. Insanity. What's going on? I got the buttons off. Oh, morning. I wonder what day it is. Oh my goodness. Gotta find the geocaches.
Welcome to NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA. I'm your stand-in co-host, Franklin.
Where's Blair?
He called and said he'll be a little late. It's something about he got lost.
Got lost?
Yeah, I think it had something to do with a geocache.
Well, about 3 days ago, he went out on this geocache expedition and I guess was trying to find some of these travel bugs. I mean, that was 3 days ago. There's no way he could have been geocaching for those 3 days.
Oh, absolutely. You can have...
I got it. Yeah, got it. Right here.
What are you doing? We're live on the set of the show.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA. Chris, how are we doing today?
Why are you late?
No, am I late?
The show started rolling about 2 minutes ago.
No, I know. Okay, I was late.
And
but
actually, he was doing a good job as a co-host.
I'd never question his talent. All I'm saying is the technology thing. I just got a little freaked out this weekend on the whole geocache thing. It was a little rough, but...
You've been geocaching for the last 3 days?
Actually, I stopped geocaching about 3 days ago. I got some sketchy data on the old GPS, and... I didn't throw it out, but I almost did a couple times. But no, I'm fine now. It just gave me some crazy stuff. I couldn't find anything.
Well, did you check the weather before you went out?
Yeah, it was like sunny. It was perfect.
What about space weather?
Chris, it's going to Chesapeake, Virginia. I mean, not going into orbit or anything, you know. I mean,
Franklin, obviously, he's still on the outside of NASA.
Yeah,
and he's not with it yet.
Absolutely. If you get lost in Chesapeake, Virginia, you are clearly on the outside.
No, well...
Do you realize that sometimes when you're using electronic equipment, if you have space weather such as solar storms or CMEs, that could affect your equipment? No?
Really? That's interesting. They didn't have that in the manual.
I tell you what, here's what we'll do.
Had to eat the manual, actually.
Ron, if you could do us a favor, go ahead and contact Dr. Nicky Fox from Goddard.
No, I'm fine. I'm physically, I've been checked out.
Contact Dr. Nicky Fox. We're going to explain to you all about space weather.
Oh,
and what we'll do is let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, Franklin will share the news.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll get Dr. Nicky Fox on the line, and we'll
let me just clarify. So you're suggesting, you're positing, you're theorizing, you're speculating, you're announcing, you're declaring.
Whatever.
that somehow space weather is related to the problem I have with my GPS and possibly cell phone.
I think there's a good possibility.
There's a very good possibility.
Oh, well, all right. Well, let's wait and hear from Dr. Nicky Fox.
Sorry for the short break, but you're watching NASA Edge.
An inside
An outside look at all things NASA.
yeah,
What a moron.
yeah, a real outside look at this point. Outside looking in.
Hey, welcome back to NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA.
You got D up, man.
Look, sorry. Look, let's just go on with the show. I gotta.
All right, well, Ron's still trying to get a hold of Nicky Fox
Good. I need to
for our
be
interview on space weather. So while Ron's doing that, let's go ahead and talk with Franklin, and he'll tell us the news.
Bail me out with the news, Franklin.
Okay, in the news, NASA issued a request for proposal for the Ares 1 launch vehicle upper stage element. Ares 1 is the launch vehicle that will transport the Orion Crew Exploration Vehicle and its crew into low Earth orbit.
Yeah, check it out, Franklin. Better than that, we got an actual, what is this, a 3600th, 486, 9000th model scale?
For those mathematically challenged, this is actually a 1/100 scale model of the Ares 1 launch vehicle
1/100th scale, Franklin.
with the Orion spacecraft on top there.
Or we'll just call it small.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay.
Continuing on the topic of exploration, I have to tell you about a NASA insider, Blair. I recently met while working.
I'm an insider?
No. I'm just trying to
you're telling me.
emphasize. Yeah,
Gotcha.
he's an insider. While I was working with NASA's Office of Education in Charlotte, North Carolina, I met astronaut, administrator, pilot, and officer, Major General retired Charles Bolden Jr.
Wow.
Besides both of us being Marines and NASA insiders, we were both members of the same fraternity at Omega Psi Phi.
That
Wow.
makes 2/3 of us insiders and
Yeah.
Yes,
1/3 outsiders.
Yet another obstacle for me to overcome to become an insider.
You're going to be fine. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
good.
It's coming
Good.
soon.
Okay, great.
It was a pleasure to meet with the general as he taught students from elementary school to college about NASA and the importance of science, technology, engineering, and math. You can read more about General Bolden and other astronauts on the NASA website at www.nasa.gov. On NASA's website, there is an excellent page called This Month in Exploration. And during the month of March, there are quite a few historical tidbits to keep you busy as you explore NASA's future, present, and past.
Excellent.
March 2nd, 1972, guys, check this out. NASA launched the Pioneer 10 space probe, the first spacecraft to capture close-range images of Jupiter and the first to travel outside of our solar system. The first.
Hey, another outsider. I can relate to That's great. Me and Pioneer 10.
And I
Sorry.
don't have a model, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
That's okay. You got me.
Yeah.
Pioneer 11.
It carried a plaque of a coded message that any scientifically educated society would be able to translate. Its final signal was sent
Just
to
like
Earth.
me.
Its final signal was sent to Earth in January 2003, and it is currently more than 8 billion miles away from Earth. That is just one of many outstanding facts you'll find at This Month in Exploration on the NASA website. So, guys, check it out.
8 million miles. That's pretty
Billion.
impressive.
Billion
miles.
8 billion miles. Wonder when the warranty ran out on that one. I mean, it can't be.
Well,
still continue.
Franklin, thank you for the news. I think, according to Ron, we have Dr. Nicky on the line. So let's go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, Franklin, you and I can talk more about space weather with Dr. Nicky Fox.
Perfect. Right
Right.
here on NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA.
Welcome back to NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA. I think Ron has Dr. Nicky Fox on the line.
Perfect, which, as you know, I need all the help I can with the sun.
Hey, Dr. Fox, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Hey, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We're trying to bring Blair more of the inside and teach him all about the sun and space weather. Unfortunately, he had a slight problem this morning.
I don't want to overdo it. I mean, I just got lost with my GPS this weekend, and it was due to some solar activity. I mean, this can be common, right?
Well, that's true, and maybe Dr. Fox, you can kind of teach him more about the sun and all about space weather.
Yes. Oh, great. Perfect. Well, first thing, as I said, I was in this sort of traumatic experience this weekend with GPS, let's talk a little bit about the relationship between the sun and the Earth. Is it a close relationship?
Yes, it's a very close relationship. The sun has an atmosphere which it's continually streaming away, and we like to say whenever the sun sneezes, the Earth will catch a cold.
Wow, that's gross. Is there any way we can stop this germ-spreading star at the center of our solar system?
Yes, well, fortunately, we have a protective outer layer, maybe our Kleenex layer, which is the Earth's magnetosphere. It's the magnetic atmosphere that surrounds our planet, and that manages to keep away most of those harmful germs or that high radiation that would be coming from the sun at all the time, and that's why we're safe down here on the planet. When you're at solar maximum, you're seeing these storms very frequently, maybe as many as 2 or 3 in a month. Down at solar minimum, you're probably around 1 every 2 months, and they're much smaller.
Okay.
Say, Dr. Fox, are there any adverse effects on the Earth's surface if the Earth's magnetosphere the Kleenex does not catch all of that sneeze?
That also is very gross. I'm really nervous now. That's what happened to me this weekend.
Well, no, that fortunately we are very well protected because of the various layers of our atmosphere do a very good job at protecting us. However, anything that's out in space, for example, satellites, will see effects because of this increased radiation that can come in around them. One of the most beautiful side effects of these sneezes is, in fact, you will see very beautiful aurora, or the northern and southern lights.
Okay. This brings up a very interesting issue. I have to ask you a favor. After going through this sort of situation this weekend, I came up with a new term that I think applies here in the aurora situation or the magnetosphere situation, and I was hoping maybe you could maybe adopt it in the space weather program, and that is magnetosference.
That's great. I love that.
Okay, that's an endorsement. She said that's great. See, I'd like to see that used in space weather forecasts. Is that possible? Do we even have space weather forecasts?
There are space weather forecasts. They're put out by NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration.
There we go.
Okay.
And they have a space weather center, which is located in Boulder in Colorado, and they are responsible for putting out those space weather forecasts.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
I've been there.
Well, we maybe we can talk to them. Maybe you and I can talk later about getting them to use magnetosference.
Yeah, well, I'll put that high on my list of things to do today.
Excellent.
And another term that Blair
an insider.
Well, another term that Blair didn't want to bring up, but I have to bring it up, is that he wanted to come up with a new term for CME, or coronal mass ejection. He just doesn't like that word.
Yeah, it makes me nervous.
It makes him nervous. Is there a way that you can kind of calm him down and convince him it's a...
Well, it's a very straightforward expression. It's just explaining exactly what's happening. The sun's outer atmosphere, the corona, every now and again ejects large blobs of plasma, and they have a mass, so they are coronal mass ejections.
What about sunbolt?
I preferred magnetosference.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm cutting my losses. I'll take magnetosference and we'll go from there.
Maybe solar storms. Are you more comfortable with that?
There we go.
Solar
Good.
storm sounds cool. I like that.
Well, Dr. Fox, I want to thank you very much for taking the time again to come out and give Blair a lesson and
Yes.
bring him more on the inside and learn all about the sun.
I still feel like I have a lot of work to do, but you've
okay.
definitely pointed me in the right direction.
Absolutely.
There's always things to learn about the sun. That's what's great about being a solar scientist. It's a different star every day.
And if there's ever an event, a huge CME or a huge sneeze that comes by that we need to know about, could you give us a call?
Definitely.
Gesundheit. God bless you.
Absolutely. Well, have a great day, Dr. Fox.
Dr. Fox, I just want to thank you so much for speaking with us today and certainly enlightening me about all things sun-related. I need a lot of help and at least to understand things a little better about this weekend. So I appreciate that.
No problem. I'm glad I could help.
And I just want to let you know, every time we start sneezing, we're going to think about the sun.
Yeah, and Dr.
That's
Nicky
good.
Fox.
And Dr. Nicky Fox, absolutely. So.
Yeah, and incidentally, I will credit you for using magnetosference. I appreciate that, and we'll talk later about compensation or
Okay.
other things like that.
All right.
Hey, have a great day, Dr. Fox.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fantastic.
Well,
She's going to use magnetosference.
I think that's great.
I may not be an insider, but I'm kicking words out for NASA.
you need to trademark that term.
I know, I need to right away. But you know what? We first need to go to a break.
Absolutely.
And then hopefully we'll come back and learn even more about the sun.
Absolutely. We're watching
Perfect.
NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA. welcome back to NASA Edge.
An inside and outside look at all things NASA. Well, that was a pretty neat interview with Nicky Fox.
Oh, she was great. I mean, she's fabulous.
And the accent. I like that British
great,
accent.
but she's very knowledgeable. She
Yes.
knows tons about the sun.
Absolutely.
The thing that I have, the big question that I have, and I'm sure it's not a question for you, but for me, is when you think about it, all these things that's going on with the sun and satellites and everything,
Right.
The average guy like me, what
On the
else
outside.
What
Right.
else do we need to know about the sun? I mean, I understand the technological side, but is there anything else that NASA does that we need to know about?
I think Franklin can tell us a little bit more about the Sun-Earth connection.
Great. What you got, Franklin?
Well, as far as news is concerned, I don't have anything on my rundown, but I do have Troy Cline on the phone from the Sun-Earth Connection Education Forum at NASA Goddard. How you doing, Troy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Pretty good.
Hey, Troy, Blair is, of course, on the outside of NASA and
Trying to get inside.
trying to get on the inside. And could you kind of bring them up to speed about what you do at Goddard and trying to get the general public involved in learning more about space weather?
I certainly can. I can give you the inside scoop. How's that?
Oh, perfect. I've got my note-taking tools ready.
Well, we have several programs that people can get involved in, and one of them is called Sun-Earth Day. And that's a program that started about 6 years ago when we were approached by several scientists in the Sun-Earth Connection community who wanted to come up with some type of event or celebration to really let everyone know, in the public and museums and schools, about what is the sun and how in the world does the sun connect to the Earth and what's space weather and all of that. So we came up with Sun-Earth Day that happens on or near the spring equinox every year, and we've been doing it for about 6 years now.
So basically, you trumped Earth Day.
We absolutely did. Not only
much
that,
bigger than Earth Day.
Yeah, that's right.
what's much broader, let's say. Our theme for this year is going to be called Living in the Atmosphere of the Sun.
Okay.
And that's basically, the scientific term for that is heliosphere, so people will probably be hearing more and more of that word as the years go by. But all of the planets, including the Earth, live inside the atmosphere of the sun. The sun's influence extends way past Pluto. And we basically live in what, if you could see it, it would look like a giant magnetic bubble or cocoon.
We were doing some research for the show on the sun, and I noticed that you're involved in a new program called Space Weather Action Centers. Is that kind of like forecasting?
Oh, it's absolutely forecasting, and it's done in such a way that students in any classroom with one internet connection can connect and set up a space weather action center in their schools. It's like a learning center with an internet connection.
Actually, that's a great idea. And talk about hands-on and getting out there and doing something where you're actually involved in the education, not simply,
right.
Absolutely.
just reading about it, but you're actually participating,
That's
which
right.
is
And
fun.
it takes you outside of the science classroom. The English teachers can get involved, the art teachers. It's pretty cross-curricular, so I think everybody can have fun with that.
Hey, do you have a website that people can go to?
We sure do. It's sunearthday.nasa.gov.
Hey, Troy, you have time to answer a few email questions?
I sure do.
All right, well, I'll start first since I'm on the inside and you're on the outside.
Yeah.
And
If we get to me, fine.
All right, good. All right, so the first question is from Sven in Andenes, Norway. Norway has many myths and legends about the Northern Lights and the sun. Do you present any myths or legends in Sun Earth Day programs?
Oh, we absolutely do. And as a matter of fact, that's one of our key components. There's a section of our website on Sun Earth Day called Technology Through Time. And as you go through there, you'll find a series of essays, journal reports, and links that talk about not only technology of today, but how sun watchers throughout time were observing the sun. And myths and legends absolutely fit into that mix.
But listen, I got one quick question for you. And Alex in Dayton, Ohio, actually is concerned that he wants to know whether you were responsible for actually moving daylight savings up to accommodate Sun Earth Day. Is that true?
That wasn't easy to accomplish, but our webcast just got longer and longer, and we needed a few days. So.
See, I thought that energy answer was bogus. So I knew you guys were behind it. I think that's great.
Hey, Troy, thanks for taking the time to join us today and just give us an education about Sun Earth Day and all the different education programs. And I know Sun Earth Day happens not just in one day, but I'm sure it happens all year.
Yeah.
And by the way, what was that web address again?
It's sunearthday.nasa.gov.
Oh, cool. In fact, we have the site up here.
Yes.
Looks pretty neat. And check
good.
it out. It's Troy's done a really good job with the site. So,
Yeah, thanks a lot.
well, have a great day, and we'll keep in touch throughout the year.
Happy Earth Day.
Oh, Sun Earth Day.
Sun Earth Day.
Oh,
You said Earth Day.
happy Sun Earth Day to you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
All right. You're watching NASA Edge.
And inside and outside, way outside the bounds, look at all things NASA.
We'll be right back.
I got melodious. I don't know what happened there. That was just strange. Welcome back to NASA Edge, an inside and outside look at all things NASA.
Hey, wasn't it great to talk to Dr. Fox and Troy today?
They were fantastic. In fact, it's really clear that space weather is becoming more and more important.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I put together a little special report. I'm leaving the comfort of my Amish exile on the desk here, and I'm heading over to the NASA Edge Space Weather Action Center.
Space Weather Action Center? What's that?
I didn't know we had one. This I have to see.
Good evening. I'm Blair Allen with the NASA Edge Space Weather Action Center with a brief, yet interesting and important look at all things space weather. The sun, what can I say? Blazing hot, 5,800 degrees Kelvin, all week, every week. But on the good side, it is a dry heat.
So, like, there's no humidity?
That's right, Franklin. No humidity, which is a good thing.
So does the temperature on the surface of the sun change?
Actually, that's a good point, Chris. There are seasons on the sun. So in one sense, I guess you could say the 5,800 degrees Kelvin could be considered spring-like conditions. However, winter, spring, summer, or fall, you pretty much burst into flames if you're on the surface. Oh, how did these get in here? Yes. There we go. Thank you. This is interesting. This is why I had a failure with my GPS experiment. This is what I like to call a Class 5 CME, coronal mass ejection, or, as really cool scientists say, a solar storm.
I'm sorry, did you say Class 5 CME?
Yes, that's correct.
What the heck's a Class 5 CME?
Actually, I developed my own classification system based on the size of the JPEG images.
So this is your own non-scientific classification?
Precisely.
Please continue.
Okay, anyway, the sun bolts or solar storm actually impact our everyday lives here on Earth. Yes, there we go. The radiation travels from the sun through the heliosphere to our planet. It is this radiation that can cause problems with the ISS, the space shuttle if it's flying, global communication satellites, global positioning satellites, and yes, even our beloved magnetosphere.
All right, so what kind of problems does this create?
Please be patient. I'll get to that.
I hope you get to that point faster than the 3 days it takes for the radiation to make it to our planet.
We have a tough crowd here at the NASA Edge Space Weather Action Center. I'm getting there. Essentially, the radiation bombards our magnetosphere, causing varying degrees of magnetosference.
Nice. Magnetosference.
That's my own word, yeah. Used with permission, of course.
All right, Webster, so what's your 5-day outlook?
Sorry, Chris. The high magnetosference rating actually indicates high degrees of radiation impacting the ISS, or the shuttle, or satellites. There we go. Satellites, or GPS satellites, causing all kinds of technical difficulties.
Okay, Webster, so why is this important to the average NASA Edge viewer?
Well, personally, I wouldn't want to rely on GPS to help navigate during high levels of magnetosference. My recent debacle in the Dismal Swamp, I believe, speaks for itself.
You also don't want to forgo a liberal use of sunblock during high levels of magnetosference.
That's an excellent point, Franklin. In that case, I wouldn't burn, I would actually combust.
That's kind of interesting.
Yes, Chris, it's very much like those commercials that have people using cell phones where someone is saying something very significant and important and the other person can't hear a word they're saying. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but those ads really capture the essence of magnetosference.
Hey, thanks, Blair. Now, you actually did a pretty... Or maybe you'll be here.
Oh.
Hey, thanks again. That's all the time we have for now. Visit our website and keep those emails coming. You're watching NASA Edge, an inside and outside look at all things NASA.
So, what were you saying? Am I still a co-host?